Have you ever walked out of an exam room feeling, absolutely invincible, only to get your paper back and realize you dropped an entire grade boundary just from completely silly mistakes? Or maybe you fell right into one of those clever little options traps they specifically set up for you in multiple choice questions. Listen, we have literally all been there. It is a universally frustrating experience. Honestly, you kind of just have to laugh at how easily our brains can get tricked when we're under pressure. But today, we're going to fix that. Welcome to our explainer.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Today, we're looking at the ultimate exam strategy method. And look, this isn't about just locking yourself in a room and working harder. It's about working significantly smarter. We're going to break down a really powerful 5-step continuous improvement loop that's specifically designed for exam success. Basically, we're taking your study routine from a disorganized scramble and turning it into a streamlined, highly efficient process.
Here's our roadmap for today. First, the exam strategy method. 2, review and eradicate weaknesses. 3, simulating authentic exam pressure. 4, tracking and analyzing mistakes. And finally, number 5, the targeted elimination loop.
All right, section 1, the exam strategy method.
Now this proven 5-step master strategy we're looking at, it's pulled directly from highly effective study notes. So this isn't just some fluffy theory. This is a tactical, completely battle-tested approach to conquering your exams, especially those super tricky multiple-choice papers. Think of it like a complete, self-correcting engine for your brain.
The strategy is broken down into these 5 distinct stages: systematic review, weakness eradication, pressure simulation, error tracking, and targeted elimination. Together, they form this continuous improvement loop. You don't just run through these once and call it a day. No way. You feed the results of the last step right back into your routine to absolutely guarantee you're always leveling up.
Moving on to section 2, review and eradicate weaknesses.
Step 1 is systematic review. Now, what's really interesting about this is the golden rule. You have to revise your topic systematically before you attempt any questions. I know. Too often we just want to jump straight into past papers to see what we know. But guys, that is exactly how those silly mistakes are born. You've got to look back over your materials first to lay the groundwork. And you need to be highly specific. Don't just passively read a textbook. Hit your concise summaries. Rememorize those active definitions. Dive back into those heavy-lifting chemistry topics like transition metal color matrices and skeletal mechanisms. You know the ones. Get this checklist done and get it done actively. Okay, so once your systematic review is completely checked off, you move immediately to step 2, weakness eradication. The material specifically advises you to do targeted topicals. Basically, this means grinding out topical practice papers for the specific units that you personally find really challenging. You're isolating your weaknesses and aggressively targeting them, no hiding from the hard stuff.
For example, you need to identify notoriously difficult topics and attack them head-on. Pick out things like Born-Haber Cycles, electrochemistry, NMR Spectroscopy. If these units scare you, well, they are your prime targets. Grinding out topical questions on these exact specific subjects is exactly how you build rock-solid conceptual confidence.
All right, let's shift gears to section 3, simulating authentic exam pressure.
You see, there's a really massive difference in your goals as you move through this loop. When you do targeted topicals, your goal is building conceptual confidence. You're actually allowed to take your time. But when you switch to timed yearlies, doing full yearly past papers, your goal completely shifts to simulating authentic pressure. The physical reality of the exam room is a totally different beast, and you absolutely must train for it. The master strategy gives us a very strict numerical requirement here. 5. You must complete at least 5 yearly past papers to properly simulate the exam. 4 isn't going to cut it. To build a stamina, and doing just 1 or 2 won't expose you to the full variety of pressure you're going to face. You need at least 5 to really lock it in.
And here's the catch, and it's a big one. It must be with strict exam timing. For these multiple-choice papers, that means precisely 1 hour and 15 minutes. Not an hour and 20, not an hour and 30. You literally must set a timer for exactly 1 hour and 15 minutes, put away all your notes, and sit in total silence.
So, the crucial point is this. When you're under that strict 1 hour and 15-minute limit, you're testing way more than just your memory. You need to actively monitor if your choices physically make sense while that clock is ticking down. Simulating authentic pressure reveals those incredibly annoying mistakes that you only make when you're rushing.
Which brings us to Section 4, Tracking and Analyzing Mistakes. Step 4 is error tracking. This is where the real strategic improvement happens. You have to find and analyze your mistakes by thoroughly reviewing your marked scripts. You literally cannot just look at your score out of 40 and move on. You must sit down, recheck your answers, and explicitly spot exactly where you fell into the options traps they set for you. Did you misread a unit? Did you forget a minus sign? Find it.
Because the absolute secret to this entire process is this quote right here. You must be explicitly looking out for patterns in your errors to avoid repetitive blunders. It's not just about fixing a single mistake. It's about finding the pattern of why you keep making that mistake in the first place so you can eliminate it forever.
And finally, Section 5, the targeted elimination loop. Let's see how this all builds up.
Targeted elimination means you do more yearly past papers, but this time, you do them while actively keeping your specific list of past mistakes in mind. You don't just blindly take another test. You go into it thinking, okay, last time I totally messed up the signs on the Born-Haber cycle, so I'm absolutely going to watch out for that today. This kind of active awareness is exactly how you successfully break bad habits.
And here is the ultimate failsafe built right into this engine. If, during this process, you find yourself making too many mistakes in one specific topic over and over again, you must halt. Stop taking full exams. You actually have to repeat the loop starting all the way back from step 1. Go back to your systematic review, hit those concise summaries again, do targeted topicals on that specific weakness, and then return to the exams. It literally guarantees you never practice bad habits.
Which leaves us with one final thought. You now have the exact blueprint: systematic review, weakness eradication, pressure simulation, error tracking, and targeted elimination. So the real question is, are you ready to break your bad habits and start the loop? Grab your concise summaries, set your timers, and start putting this master strategy to work. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and good luck.